One Zambia, One Nation. Welcome to Zanis News. I am Alice Banda, your presenter, and our sign language interpreter is Neha Mombi. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. State to continue collaborating with church to improve livelihoods. Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company requested to avoid water rationing. Government calls for transparency in relief maize distribution. And Zambians encouraged to embrace physical sporting activities. And now the news in detail. Government has apologized to the Catholic Church for the incident that occurred in Kabwe involving the police, former President Edgar Lungu, and a Catholic priest based in Kabwe. Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwembu says it's not the intention of government to harass or victimize the church or anybody who interacts with the church. Mr. Mwembu stated that government cherishes the cordial relations that exist between government and the church. He clarified that the church is not an opponent to government, but a development partner. Mr. Mwembu says government is looking forward to forge strong relations with the church. And Acting Minister of Information and Media Garin Kombo indicated at the same joint media briefing that government will look into the incident that happened in Kabwe.
It has never been the intention of the government to harass the church or harass anybody who interacts with the church. We as government cherish the relationship that exists between the church and government. The church is not our opponent.
To understand that sometimes police officers can go beyond the line. The topic that is within many who are proposing today is that they're saying President Hakainde Hichilema committed to doing things different around the issue of public order. I want to also re-emphasize that as a government, we are committed not only to build, but to uphold a safe and orderly society in this, our country, Zambia.
Central Province Minister Princess Kasune has reaffirmed government's commitment to support the efforts of the church in improving the livelihoods of the people in the province. Ms. Kasune notes that the church has been supplementing government's efforts in improving the social welfare of the people, especially the vulnerable in society. She was speaking when she officiated at the Kabwe Diocese fundraising dinner last evening.
The Kabwe Catholic Diocese has held a fundraising dinner to raise money for the forthcoming Association of the Zambian Diocesan Catholic Clergy conference set for August. Central Province Minister Princess Kasune officiated the event held to raise 900,000 shortfall for the event that will host 400 priests from 11 dioceses across Zambia.
His able leadership of the President of the Republic of Zambia, President Hakainde Hichilema, has placed a high regard for the church in improving the socio-economic welfare of our citizens. The government is also aware that on itself alone it cannot attain what this country strives for. But together with the different churches and including the very much role that the Catholic Church plays in providing interventions in various sectors in our communities, especially in education, health and education and health, which has positively changed the lives of many, and I stand as a great example of one who benefited from the Catholic education.
Provincial Permanent Secretary Miona Mwanakampwe emphasized the government's support to the church.
To you, my fathers I want to say that this government, this president, supports the Catholic Church to the hilt, and we shall work together with you, regardless of what may have happened during the day. That misunderstanding is an issue that administratively will be dealt with without fear or favor, without winking. We will look at each other in the eyes and say, this must be dealt with, because what is abominable and it has no two ways.
And Father Edwin Mwale, who represented Bishop Clement Mulenga, said the forthcoming conference will bring dioceses together and will come with opportunities.
The forthcoming August ASAC conference brings all of us together, not just to unite the diocesan priests from all dioceses in Zambia, but to unite all of us gathered here in appreciating the different God-given roles in our service to humanity.
Namatama Liwanga reporting for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
Meanwhile, Sande Bwalia reports that the church has pledged to work closely with government in areas such as agriculture, health and education in an effort to improve the welfare of the people. Jesus Anointed Ministries Bishop Billy Mfula says as the country clocks 60 years, there is need for the church to remain a strong partner to government in addressing challenges citizens are faced with.
From time immemorial, the church has been a strong partner with government in improving the welfare of the people in communities. For this reason, Jesus Anointed Ministries Bishop in charge, Billy Mfula, has reaffirmed his church's resolve to roll out various developmental programs across the country to supplement government efforts.
As church, we know we are a partner to development, and we want to continue to partner strongly with government. We want to also appreciate the government for their efforts to help better the livelihood of the people. As a church, we want to remain as a strong partner to government. Church has stood, governments come, and the church has remained to stay as a partner to every government that comes into office.
Chief Nkambo of the Lamba people, who is also House of Chiefs chairperson, said traditional leaders also continue to work with government to better people's livelihoods.
Traditional leadership and the government are partners for the same people that we as the traditional leaders are taking care of are the same that the government is taking care of. And so whatever hits the nation, all of us get affected, and we identify ourselves with that problem that we may be part of the solutions, that have to be provided.
And Chieftainess Chiawa of Lower Zambezi of Kafue district has disclosed that her chiefdom has heightened the campaign for people to stop the indiscriminate cutting of trees to mitigate climate change.
So we are trying to tell them that let's go back to what we used to do in those days. Actually, we have involved the scouts. We do have scouts. We have involved them to go in the bush and see whoever is cutting trees to stop them. So that we could see now, I think even people are believing now to say the cutting of trees has really reduced us to nothing, because the rain has really been a very big problem for us. The crops which we tried to grow, they have dried. The maize didn't even tassel.
Sandra reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Mike Mposha has called on the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company to do everything possible to avoid water rationing in Lusaka. Mr. Mposha says it is the desire of government that water supply to consumers remains stable despite the drought effects that have affected the supply of the resource due to the current load shedding management. He said this when he toured the company's water treatment facilities in Kafue yesterday. Details in the following report.
Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Mike Mposha, has toured the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation water treatment facilities in Kafue and Lusaka to appreciate the challenges that the facilities are facing amid the current drought situation that the country is experiencing. The minister, who started his tour at Ayolanda 2 Treatment Center in Kafue before heading to Kaseba Treatment Center, is concerned about the situation.
We have a disaster before us, and this disaster is not just for Lusaka Water, it's not just for the commercial utilities or for the government. It's a disaster for everybody. So while government, through the commercial utilities, is doing everything possible to ensure that there's abundant water supply in the midst of the crisis we are in, our people, also the customers, must take responsibility to ensure that they pay the bills on time, but also they manage the leakages, small leakages. They will go a long way to ensure that this very, very important commodity gets to everybody.
About the situation, Mr. Mposha, who later visited 7 Seas Treatment Center in Lusaka, has however assured citizens that the government will soon be engaging ZASCO to ensure the water supply to citizens remains stable amid the ongoing load shedding.
We are discussing with the Minister of Energy as a ministry to ensure that all our water installations are treated as we have witnessed here at Ayolanda 1, where we are exempted from load management. That way, it will help us to ensure that we maintain as close as possible to the permissible supply hours.
And Lusaka Water Supply Sanitation Managing Director Jili Chiyombo was on hand to explain the situation at the facility.
In terms of the river levels, this time last year we were at 8.7 meters, but now we're at 6.4 meters, so meaning we've lost about slightly above 2 meters, which is a lot. This one is controlled between Teji and Kafue Gorge Dam, which is run by SESCO. So Honorable, we just wanted to come and appreciate. Maybe just to mention here we go 24/7 power supply.
Ntazanga Mumba for Zanis in Kafue District.
And in education news, Action Aid Zambia has handed over a 1x2 classroom block at Kamiminushi Community School in Nakonde District, rehabilitated at a cost of 329,000 kwacha. Nakonde District Commissioner Mavila Sikapije says the classroom block had its roof blown off by a heavy storm early this year. Details by Joseph Lisolo.
Cooperating partners continue to supplement government efforts in the provision of quality education. In Nakonde District, Action Aid Zambia has handed over a 1x2 classroom block that had its roof blown off by a heavy storm early this year. Nakonde District Commissioner Mavila Sikapije was full of gratitude as he witnessed the handover.
My country director, mtandazi wetu, we are very much humbled to come to our aid of this school, and for sure we had nothing at that time to come and work at this school. But we thank God for you to come to our aid.
Action Aid Zambia Country Interim Director reaffirms the organization's commitment in the promotion and advocating for quality and gender-responsive education.
150 school desks.
150 school desks.
And the school textbook here at Community School. As Action Aid, our commitment is not just to promote education resources, but also to advocate for the quality and gender-responsive education.
Nakonde Town Council Chairperson highlights the district's precarious position during the time of the disaster.
It was not easy. The time when this classroom block was blown off, we had completely nothing under disaster component. I and the DC moved to this place. We had tremendous headache on how we can manage this classroom block.
Reporting for Zanis in Nakonde, I am Joseph Risulo.
We take a break, and when we return, we have agriculture news. Stay tuned. Zanis TV presents Chayangoma on Your People's Channel every Fridays at 19 hours. Chayangoma is a traditional musical program that teaches Zambians norms and culture through song and dance. Watch Zanis TV on Topstar Channel, Channel 6 DTT, and Channel 458 DTH. Don't miss. Welcome back. Government has called on implementing partners and other stakeholders involved in the relief maize distribution to be transparent. Speaking when she flagged off the drought response relief maize in Rufunsa District, Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Muliata assured residents that government will not allow anyone to die of hunger. More in this report.
Government has continued to show commitment towards ensuring that no one dies of hunger due to the drought. Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Muliata says government is working with cooperating partners to deliver relief maize to the vulnerable people. Ms. Muliata, who is also Rufunsa Member of Parliament, called on the implementing partners and other stakeholders to be transparent in the distribution exercise. She was speaking when she flagged off an initial 60 tons of drought response relief maize distribution in Rufunsa District.
I urge our two project implementing partners to ensure that this relief distribution is transparent, done and devoid of any corruption.
Mrs. Muliata says the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit through the Food Reserve Agency has allocated an initial 2,632 metric tons of maize to Lusaka Province.
The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit through the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, has allocated an initial 2,632 metric tons of relief white maize to all the districts under Lusaka Province.
Rufunsa District Commissioner Richard Mabena was at hand to witness the flag-off.
This has come at the right time because Rufunsa is one of the 86 districts which were affected by drought. And the coming on board of the relief maize, the community sales of maize, and also other donors within the district. It gives me energy.
Some Rufunsa residents have commended government for its commitment in cushioning the effects of the drought and food security.
Yatu pachakudya ishi chizapasiwa chifukwa zona njala kulinjala kuno kufunsa kwatu so tonga ziko muboma yatu yatufasa chakudya.
Reporting for Zanis in Rufunsa District, I'm Msekiwa Ntembe.
The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, has commenced the distribution of 1,794 metric tons of relief maize to affected communities in all the districts in the province who did not harvest enough due to poor rainfall experienced. Chingola Member of Parliament Chipoka Mlenga, who is also Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, flagged off the distribution exercise in the district. Here is a report.
The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit has kicked off the distribution of relief food to vulnerable communities on the Copper Belt to cushion them from the effects of drought, which affected most parts of the country. In Chingola, Minister of Commerce and Trade Chipoka Mlenga flagged off the distribution of maize to vulnerable members of the community. Mr. Mlenga, who is also a Chingola Member of Parliament, urged the people involved in the distribution to fairly apportion the relief food.
While we have been faced with this challenge, it is not only a drought that has hit the nation, but Chingola, Angola Copper Belt, we were not hit as much as the provinces that produce grain in the country. We have got the largest producer of maize, which is Southern Province, followed by Lusaka and Central Province, and our Eastern Province. But even some among ourselves, But even as I am here today, we are not only responding to the drought mitigation areas, but even just to the vulnerable that are less privileged and cannot afford the price of meal that you and I who are working can afford.
Copperbelt Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo also witnessed the distribution.
As we speak today, this flagging off is not only taking place here in Chingola, but the Honorable Minister for the Copperbelt Province is also flagging off the same activity in Masaiti, and the DPS is also doing the same exercise in Mpongwe. So ideally, this program, the entire province, has been flagged off today. As a province, we received close to about 34,000 bags of maize, which translates into about 1,000 plus metric tons of maize, which will be shared in the 9 districts that have been allocated.
The Ngwadis commissioner is happy that the vulnerable community members' plight will be alleviated.
Ourselves at Chingola district, we have benefited 200 metric tons, which translates into 4,000 bags or 50 kg bags of maize. That today our minister is here to flag off the distribution. It does not necessarily mean today we are going to give everything. We're just flagging off, then the rest of them will slowly be distributing.
The flagging of the relief food on the Copper Belt will help vulnerable people to improve their food security. Tovini Ngombe, Zanis, Chingola.
Meanwhile, government has flagged off the distribution of 100,000 by 50 kilogram bags of relief maize targeting 236 households hit by hunger following the long dry spell which led to crop failure across Central Province. Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe, who launched the exercise at Natuseko Food Reserve Agency, FRA shed in Kabwe, said 1.3 million people in all the 11 districts of the region are in need. Shupekile Nkunika now reports.
Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe has flagged off the distribution of relief maize targeting a population of 1.3 million people in dire need in the province. Mr. Mwanakampwe, who launched the exercise at Natuseko Food Reserve Agency shed, says 80% of the relief maize will be distributed on a food-for-work basis.
Out of the 2.5 million, we have 1,357 that are in dire need of relief food, and 226 households have been affected.
Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shimwambwa says all the 29 wards in Wacha and Kabwe Central constituencies will benefit from the exercise.
We have earmarked to distribute to each of the 29 wards. We are starting with Kawama, followed by Chimanimani, then we'll go into Kalonga wards. So this distribution exercise will continue. To thank also our PIP, our project implementing partner Chino, for being very efficient, and that is the way it should go.
The permanent secretary later toured some areas where residents have been engaged to carry out community work to benefit from the relief food. In Kalonga ward of Kabwe Central constituency, the works were not impressive.
These works are shoddy works, and if these are shoddy works, we would not allow a truck to come here. So the truck has to be diverted. DC is not coming here, because when you give people maize for food for work, then what work? What message are we sending?
Shupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Kabwe.
Southern Province Permanent Secretary Naman Monze says the crop failure has brought a huge threat to food security at household level in the province. He said this when a team of officials from Civil Society for Poverty Reduction and Joint Country Program paid a courtesy call on him. Wakumelo Stali has more in this report.
Due to the drought that hit most parts of the country,
In the 2023-2024 farming season, Southern Province recorded a 98% crop failure, igniting a huge threat to food security in the province. However, Southern Province Permanent Secretary Namani Monze, who was speaking when a team of officials from CSPR and JCP paid a courtesy call on him, highlights how the relief food program will be implemented to cushion the situation.
You may wish to know that over 90% of our fields did not perform very well. In fact, 98% to be more specific. So what that means that generally everybody has no food, but then within the community we have those who are most vulnerable. These are the ones we are going to target with relief. And then we have those who are vulnerable but are able to work. Those we are going to subject them to food for work.
Government also wants to ensure that maize grain community sales are done close to the people.
We are hoping that even those who are buying, we can cut the distances by taking the food to their polling station. They buy from there so that the little money they have can be extended by not spending so much on transport.
Meanwhile, CSPR board chairperson Patnas Yavutuba wants the right people to benefit from the relief food programs.
Even those people who have a tendency of trying to compete with the need. So we are hoping that the systems will be tight enough to ensure there is no unintended beneficiary that are going to compete for the most of the time, because then that tends to undermine the good intentions that the government will be putting in place to respond.
Wakmelo Stali, reporting for Zanis in Choma District, Southern Province.
The Conservation Farming Unit, CFU, has embarked on training of block extension officers and farmers on seed multiplication and selection in the advent of climate change. CFU Project Coordinator Oliver Bulaya says the training is meant to help farmers recover from the challenges faced as a result of climate effects. Here is a report.
The Conservation Farming Unit has embarked on training of block extension officers and farmers on seed multiplication and selection in the advent of climate change.
Yes, the Conservation Farming Unity, in conjunction with CIMIT, who are doing Accelerated and Innovation Delivery Program initiative, which is an initiative aimed at helping the farmers recover out of the challenges that they are facing, to do with the climate variability. In this case, the Conservation Farming Unity, in conjunction with CIMIT, with the support of the USAID and other partners, have been carrying out workshops to provide capacity building for the extension camp officers under the Ministry of Agriculture and the block officers, and also the district coordinators under the CFU, so as to build a capacity in terms of collaboration and in terms of seed selection and multiplication. The essence of this program is to ensure that our farmers are sensitized in terms of seed selection. So as they go about climate smart agriculture, they understand the essence of seed selection so as to enhance production and productivity levels.
For the Ministry of Agriculture, it is important for farmers to select seeds that are able to withstand adverse conditions.
Seed is very important in agriculture, and particularly this time around when we are experiencing climate change, it's very important that the seed component is really understood, so that we can be able to help our farmers to ensure that they select proper seed that is resistant to drought, seed that is able to perform in the midst of drought.
Mr. Hamayenza adds that proper selection of the seeds will guarantee good yields for farmers.
The things that we need really to ensure we put in place is the seed aspect, which needs to be properly understood by the farmers, so that they are assured of proper yields even when the drought actually strikes.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
And in health news, The Lions Club of Kafue, in partnership with Protea Hotel, has donated hospital bed linen worth over 132,000 kwacha to Kafue General Hospital. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Lions Club President Joseph Kamana said the donation will help ensure that patients at the hospital have access to clean linen during their recovery process. We have a report by Naomi Piri.
To supplement the government's effort in the provision of the quality of healthcare, the Lions Club of Kafue, in partnership with Protea Hotel, have donated hospital bed linen worth 132,000 kwacha to Kafue General Hospital. President of the Lions Club, Kafue Joseph Kamana, said the donation is a milestone in ensuring that the patients at the hospital have access to clean linen during their recovery process at the hospital facility.
Honor, indeed, as Lions Club, we are happy to be here today, to be part of the community in contributing to Kafue General Hospital. A guest of honor, indeed, as Lions, we have carried out a lot of projects with the Minister of Health in Kafue, and today, this donation is a milestone in ensuring that the patients that come to our hospital are taken care of by having clean and better linen as they recover from their various illnesses.
Kafue Member of Parliament Miriam Chonya also presented the donation of 4 wheelchairs donated by the social media community.
It's a demonstration that we can make use of social media to share progressive ideas, contribute to the development of our communities, and indeed achieve greater things as opposed to spreading hate speech and planting divisive elements.
And Kafue Hospital Superintendent Dr. Abi Makokula acknowledged the continued support the Lions Club Kafue has made to the health sector in the district.
Today, we'll be witnessing a donation of linen involving pillowcases, duvets, and pillowcases, duvets, which is being donated to the hospital through the help of Protea Hotel in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Kafue District Commissioner, who was the guest of honor, applauded the stakeholders for supplementing the government's effort of providing universal health coverage for all.
I'm delighted to appreciate as guest of honor at this handover ceremony of hospital linen to our health facilities, including the wheelchairs. We are really delighted. In the district by Lions Club of Kafue, a hospital is a place where every resident in the district should invest because it is for everyone.
Reporting, I'm Nampiri.
In other news, the Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority, ZICTA, has continued with its mission of educating communities against pre-registered SIM cards. This time around, a team from ZICTA is in Solwezi district urging communities to report anyone selling pre-registered SIM cards. Details in this report.
A team of consumer protection officers from the Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority, ZICTA, from Lusaka is in Northwestern Province to conduct stakeholder engagements on the mandate of ZICTA and the need to have a secured ICT sector in the country. Solwezi Acting District Commissioner Anton Fulwe officiates at the event.
It is not only ZICTA, we need to work together in order to mitigate the problems that we are going through communication. Very soon we'll not be using papers. This country is going E. In fact, government also is going e-governance. Finances, E, everything is E.
ZICTA Consumer Protection Officer Kawana Muti calls on the community to take responsibility and ensure the cyberspace is safe for all internet users.
If you see somebody selling a pre-registered SIM card, please report it. Spread that message. Okay? There's a short code, *101#. It's the same thing. Let us not do the mistake of saying, no, the internet should take care of itself. no, our kids will be okay on the internet by themselves. No. It's a community responsibility for us to work together to make sure that everybody is safe online.
Meanwhile, Kennedy Kapembwa, another consumer protection officer, explains what ZICTA is doing to protect children that use internet services.
So, what have we done as the ZICTA? So we pushed for this strategy. We've got a child online protection strategy in place. This is a government strategy, but it was pushed by ourselves as an ICT regulator because of the role we play in the ICT platform.
Dr. Griffin Kabunda gives a vote of thanks on behalf of the participants.
Since we have learned and we have come up with so many things which have been answered, should I say, let us go there. Go and share, go and preach, go and teach. Allow me once again to say thank you to ZICTA and our facilitators who have come today. We really appreciate.
For Zanis in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province, I am Mary Ndlovu.
And in sports, Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu has urged Zambians to take keen interest in physical sporting activities. Nkandu has also encouraged the public to create time for engaging in exercises as it is important in averting non-communicable diseases. The minister said this when he graced the European Union Run and Walk 2024 annual event.
The residence of the European Union to Zambia and COMESA was a hive of sporting activities as the embassy hosted the 2024 EU Run and Walk. The annual event, which was graced by Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu, attracted more than 900 participants. Mr. Nkandu took part in the EU Run and Walk event, urged Zambians to make exercising a lifestyle so as to avert non-communicable diseases.
Something that we need to encourage as government, because again, doing this will reduce on the budget of the Ministry of Health. Because non-communicable diseases will distance itself from us, especially those that are physically fit, those that are running, those that are exercising. So I should also take advantage of this opportunity to encourage the Zambian populace to make sure that when there is marathon, when there is aerobics, when there is anything to do with exercising, they should partake in it.
And the host of the EU Run and Walk event was pleased with the turnout of runners.
We have 1,000 participants. It was sold out in 2 hours, so there's a great enthusiasm for running in Zambia, and I'm very happy that the EU was able to organize it. It's in the framework of the European Festivals of Cultures, where we celebrate the European Union in the month of May.
Zambia Amateur Athletics Association, ZAP President Elias Mpondela, was thrilled with the high number of young people who took part in the EU Run and Walk.
But more importantly, if you see the kind of young people that are here, it gives Zambia Athletics hope that the future is bright, because then all these are potential athletes.
Participants who took part in the social sporting activities expressed happiness with the manner in which the event was organized.
For me, I'm a social running and a medal collector. So collecting a medal and taking part in ensuring that I keep fit, I think it feels good. I encourage others to also follow suit. Almost every week, we've got a running activity in Lusaka.
The EU Run and Walk is held in the month of May annually so as to celebrate cultural diversity and wellness. Zanis reports in Lusaka.
And Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Permanent Secretary Kangwa Chileshe has called on professional bankers to regularly exercise. Chileshe has further counselled bankers not to neglect exercising as it is important in keeping fit and healthy. The Permanent Secretary notes that exercises can help in managing stress levels related to work. Chileshe said this when he officiated at this year's Bankers Sports Day held under the theme, Health is a Marathon and not a Sprint. And speaking earlier, Zambia Institute of Banking and Financial Services President Moses Shuko urged bankers to prioritize exercising.
Allow me to express my sincere appreciation for the honor I've been given to officiate at the 2024 Bankers Sports Day. Bankers Sports Day of Zambia, Institute of Banking and Financial Services, in partnership with the Bankers Association of Zambia on the theme, health is a marathon and not a sprint, quote unquote. As a ministry responsible for youth, sport, and arts, it is my profound privilege to champion the importance of leading a healthy lifestyle and promoting physical activity for all individuals, regardless of age or ability, especially for working professionals such as bankers, whose work involves exposure to work-related stress due to long working hours and high performance targets. Therefore today, we gather not just to network around sport, but also to honor the importance of a vital concept, that health is a marathon and not a sprint.
Fitness is a lifestyle, a lifelong process of eating healthy, we heard, exercising regularly, getting plenty of rest, drinking that water that has been sponsored by BGS, that's important. And it's also important that we manage our mental and emotional stress in our lives. So these are just few examples of things that we need to make sure that they are front of mind. The financial sector is not an exception to navigating some of these issues that we've mentioned above. Many of us are working very hard to sustainably grow our customer base, grow the footprint, digital or otherwise, as we aim to serve our customers better. As we all work hard to ensure we give our best to our customers and other stakeholders.
Lastly, in sports, the Professional Golfers Association of Zambia has held a golf clinic in Mazabuka district targeting children aspiring to become professional golfers. More in the following report.
The Professional Golfers Association of Zambia has held a golf clinic in Mazabuka district targeting children aspiring to become professional golfers in future as part of its program to grow the sport in rural areas. The association, which held a 2-day golf tournament at Mazabuka Golf Club, says young people make part of the national talent which the country can harness to develop golf.
The juniors and we're coaching the juniors and teaching them how to play golf, and then keeping them away from bad stuff and motivating them to do good things, and then discipline and other things.
The children who were coached and guided on how to play the sport by professional golfers expressed happiness of being part of the program.
Because it's kind of fun when swimming the thing, but I feel nice like when I do it high. And when they give me a high five, I feel proud of myself.
Appreciate such because it's helping with the mental development of the kids, the discipline, the physique. No, the future is sports. We really appreciate what they have done today, and we also hope that it's something that will be recurring.
Winners of the Mazabuka event were happy with their performance and are optimistic of representing the country well in future tournaments.
About professionals in Zambia, I think we've played a couple of tournaments before going into Zambia Open, and I think we expect a good performance this time. And for myself, I think winning the 2 tournaments that I've played so far, I have confidence that I'm going to play in Zambia Open. And knowing it's been a while since we played Zambia Open on the Kopido at Tinkana Golf Club, it's gonna be nice.
The tournament drew 26 participants from across the country who included professional and amateur golfers. I'm Brian Swisha reporting in Mazabuka district, Southern Province.
That sporting item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. State to continue collaborating with church to improve livelihoods. Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company requested to avoid water rationing. Government calls for transparency in relief maize distribution. And Zambians encouraged to embrace physical, sporting activities. On behalf of the entire Zanis production team, I'm Alice Banda, not forgetting Neha Mumbi, the sign language interpreter. Goodbye and God bless you.